What's up YouTube, it's Louis here, I hope you're all well. We're looking at Hbar today on the daily time frame, and yesterday we made a really good update explaining this descending triangle over here. And yeah, over the last few days it's actually been very positive, the explanations, and yeah, they've been very accurate. We'll discuss what we essentially mean, but we had this wick down here that set this new low, and so we have to take this into consideration and draw a line and understand that if we validate this descending triangle and do break down and see a daily candle close below 4.724 cent, which is this line I'm hovering over right now, if we see a daily candle close below this, as we do right here, this is a signal to continue lower. So we did go lower in that same candle, and then the direct next day you reclaim this. So although in this red candle there were pretty much no signs, you can say we were already rejecting this area, so you're confirming it as resistance, this 236, or you found some demand over here in between this red line and the daily candle close, so that's what's pushing you back up. On the smaller time frames there would have been clues over here, so you can see that we had some sort of doji and we started heading back towards here, and we actually used it as resistance, but came down, found some short-term support and broke through over here with an engulfing pattern. So you see how this green one, what should have happened here is holding this red line as resistance to continue lower, but you see you invalidated the bearish scenario by simply one candle. Boom, you've invalidated the bearish scenario. It was bearish, but you've just ignored it essentially. So we had a daily candle close below this. This is now the 4-hour time frame. I'm just zooming into that, dissecting that one daily time frame candle into 6 4-hour versions, and we actually can see at some point you were holding it as resistance and we were heading down, found some short-term support, and with that you reverse. It's not what should have happened in the sense that we should have broken the high and broken above the red line. You should have put in that lower high and then a lower low to continue lower, but in this case we saw a higher high over here, or just an engulfing candle, and this is essentially meaning that we should expect continuation back up, showing you that the move below this was a fake out. Okay, and so yeah, we've gone up back to the descending triangles neckline over here. You see the same similar thing happen where we came back down. We explained this in yesterday's update. We went through this a lot on Hbar, Quant and Bitcoin, because can you see down here we had this short-term double bottom, this bullish reversal of this demand zone. I think that was the title of yesterday's update. I really appreciate you guys tuning in yesterday. Thank you guys for tuning in today as well. And if you're new around here and you haven't yet subscribed, I do ask you to do so and support the channel, bump up that algorithm, which just means it's going to get the video to more like-minded people like us. No moon boys here, we like to give it as it is, and yeah, look at both scenarios, and so we're not really biased to one way. And so over here, although that this is a signal we should go lower, and you've retested it as resistance and you've actually started to head lower, on Bitcoin we were actually having signs already before this green candle. Can you see this green candle? It says 8 a.m. at the bottom, 8 a.m. Well, on Bitcoin this was actually happening much earlier, around midnight, and Bitcoin was starting to reverse. And so your other coins like Quant and Hbar, you can see them reversing and going up, but Bitcoin showed the signs much earlier on. And so with that, because this is why I urge you guys to follow my Bitcoin updates every day, like them, of course, comment under them and share them. Let me know in the comments if you are finding further value by watching the Bitcoin updates, bringing that analysis to your alts, showing and realizing, okay, Bitcoin is showing signs that it's going to reverse. It was going down, it's showing signs that it wants to go up, and so you bring that over to Hbar. Bitcoin starts going up, and then Hbar eventually follows as well. This is what we saw with Hbar, Quant, and I think VeChain and VeChain as well in the last few days. So yeah, this is specifically why we reversed. We set this wick down here, remember, on the daily time frame. That was the one I said we cannot ignore whatsoever. Ever since losing this with a daily candle close, you set a wick, so this area is a demand zone now, but we have to put a line over here. And with this daily candle close below, you technically should go lower, but we already went on the 4-hour explaining why we went up. We went up, and so now we need to confirm it as support again. But we've seen, if we zoom in on the 4-hour, there were points where we came back down to here. And so going back to the 4-hour, with this line that we said we can't ignore, we see that we have not closed the daily candle below it. And so what this suggests is that this is still holding a support, potentially now a double bottom. Okay, so what do we need to see in this area down here to signal this is a double bottom? I need to see wick rejections, wicks going under, basically suggesting at some point, because remember this is the 4-hour time frame, at some point during this 4-hour period I was below the red line, and it looked like, okay, if by the end of the 4-hour I'm below it, I'm going to go down, price is going to continue lower if we're under this red line after the 4-hour period. But after the 4-hour period, you reclaimed it and you showed that in 2 candles. And this is there's 2 patterns here. I do teach about them in the course step by step. So you, of course, do it until you understand it. But I'll just talk about it briefly here. We have a 2 chart patterns or candlestick pattern, 2 candlestick patterns. You can call it a tweezer bottom over here because the wicks are basically in the same place and the opens are in the same place. But also a bullish hammer over here. And this is just a bullish reversal signal that we're seeing at a previous support. And so this is an area of support where you've now held once but twice. So this is why we call it a double bottom, in other words a W pattern. And so the expectation now is that we should head back up to this wick which we've seen. And in yesterday's update I was saying I'm expecting us to close over here in between the 55 and the 20, and what we need to do right now is confirm this as support. We've done that with one daily candle, or sorry, one 4-hour candle. So for the daily candle close, and again we've got how many hours of the day left? 9 hours and 45 minutes, so a few candles left. And we just need them to constantly hold above this. You see those 2 right now. This current one is not finished. If we do finish off like this, that's another good signal. You can call it another tweezer bottom or whatever. It's just, again, we need to constantly hold this. So the next candle, it's going to test the lows again. If it breaks through, we're going back down to the demand zone. If we just continuously hold this, it's going to give us an opportunity to hit this. That's the next expected move, to go up. As long as we're holding above the red line, we should go up. If we're seeing candles closing on the 4-hour time frame, because now this is the 4-hour time frame, if we're seeing candles closing below this red line on the 4-hour time frame, it's back down into this demand zone. Thank you guys for listening. And yeah, again, if we lose this demand zone over here, we're going to continue to this bearish descending triangle target, and this red line is your neckline, but understanding that there is a demand zone that when we came down on 2 occasions, it spiked you back up, and now we're trying to set up in a bullish way with a potential bull flag to continue back up to this purple box to the next high, about 4.8 cent. This would be the neckline of the larger double bottom, which is not valid yet, and hopefully we can validate that and break out and head towards this golden pocket. But if you remember, over 2 days ago, or about 2 days ago, I made a video saying, is Hbar a ticking time bomb? So of course, the reason why I'm saying this, I'm not meaning that tomorrow we're going to dump and it's going to nuke to zero. I don't mean, I was just saying that, and even in that specific video, I was saying, look guys, we can still go up, but eventually this is going to fail. We're already showing signs over here with the descending triangle. That's a bearish pattern. That means it wants to go down. We're showing on the smaller time frames, like the 4-hour, potential double bottom forming, trying to send us up. And you can even say this is a larger ascending triangle. Now I could call that the name of the video. However, what we need to understand, even though we're potentially seeing bullish patterns, that eventually when you meet the targets, you're just going to run into previous support as resistance, and then you should really go lower and see lower price points, $3, 3 cent, 2.5 cent, these price points. This is what I still believe is to come after this FTX scandal. You lost the low, you just made a new low, so we're reaccumulating to make a lower high. So that's why we should come up. We should see momentum coming back up, but that it will eventually die off. And when we see the momentum dying off in and around this area, we could come up to the 382 one more time and go down. I just want to see weakness on the daily candle time frame in around the 382, 050, 618 or 786. You can come up as deep as there. I just do believe eventually, when I'm seeing this clear weakness, struggling of weeks to try and break a resistance. Of course, what I'm saying is what we're seeing down here, essentially a struggle of weeks, but I do think we can get one final momentum push, and then eventually after that, when that one dies off, I think we'll go down. Because right now, if you've accumulated, you see since the bottom, you spiked up in 1 day to the top, and you made your range in 1 day, in 2 days. So between 4.2 cent and this green wick for 5.2 cent. This 1 cent range, created that in 2 days. Boom, I was here one day, next day, boom, I was there. And that's your top and your bottom. And you can see 1 month after that, we've been going sideways, effing around for 1 month after that 2-day creation of the range. So do you understand how there's no momentum right now? We need that final momentum push, okay? And then we can head lower eventually. So that's what I meant by the ticking time bomb video. And yeah, I hope this video today on the smaller descending triangle down here was a little bit clearer for you guys. Thank you guys so much. If you want me to teach you all this step by step so you can identify that trade which you could have taken by yourself, if you had done my course and you'd learnt the strategies that I teach, that is something that you could have done without my help, because it's taught in the course and through the mentorship. If you want me to teach it to you one-to-one, that's the best possible way. It's the most up-to-date, and we're looking at current charts, as in, you know, we're looking at the charts together as of now through 10 lessons. But if you want the course to do it in your own time, whenever you want, you have access to it to life, you can also get a 50% discount on that at the moment. I can also offer you a discount on the mentorship, but understand, because you're taking out my time, I'm sitting with you over 10 hours, not in one day of course, but yeah, I'm taking my time, of course, I have to charge more. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, subscribe, share and comment, and yeah, head over to my Twitter if you want to private message me for those discounts, and that link is underneath this video. Check out the channel memberships for early access to all the alt updates, and if you want to send in a donation through the super thanks tool and send in a chart request, do it through the super thanks tool next to the like button. Peace.